So one of the topics we are talking about in this video is Chinese VAT, value-added tax, how suppliers need to handle that, how SKUdrop handle that, how you need to be aware of that. It is quite a complex topic. I'm going to try and break it down as simple as I can, and that is basically every supplier in China adds value-added tax to their invoice of the products in your business. You may not see this in your purchase order, but they are entitled to a rebate from the Chinese government, meaning when your goods are exported out of the country, Chinese suppliers are able to use the export paperwork to file and submit a form into the government to get a rebate, and they're entitled to do so. This can range between 1% and 2%, and in some cases I've heard 13%, but that is for a topic for another day. But just know that they are entitled to a rebate. Now, what triggers this rebate? It's the export process. So what happens with SKUdrop is, because you guys are storing with us or potentially storing with us, there is an opportunity for you to not send out a shipment in one whole amount as you may have done in the past. You're storing in China, you want to keep your goods in China and drip feed them as you see fit. That could be every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every 2 months. It's totally up to you how you do this. And every business in SKUdrop is different and performs differently and ships differently at different intervals. The problem is that every time a shipment goes out, your supplier needs VAT paperwork for them to be able to get their rebate. Now, in China, a freight forwarder will charge $30 USD, around 300 RMB for that paperwork. But with SKUdrop, just know that we have built an admin team around this to handle it, and we waive those fees for your suppliers. So just know that your suppliers, in many cases, are not paying for the VAT paperwork. Now, in saying that, there is a minimum order quantity that needs to go out of SKUdrop for us to cover the VAT paperwork, and in not many circumstances that that threshold is broken. So just know that we are, in essence, supplying all the paperwork for every shipment automatically through our admin team to your suppliers on your behalf and for their behalf, for them to be able to claim their VAT rebate. Now, I will say this, out of the 800 plus brands currently at the time of making this video that are using SKUdrop, a really interesting stat, 50% of suppliers do claim the VAT and 50% of suppliers don't claim the VAT. Why? Some of them just don't claim it because it's too much effort, or they're just not worth it. The value of 1 or 2% of their rebate is not worth claiming and going through, and the other 50% have to do it or want to do it. In some instances, not all, but suppliers will need to justify why they've received USD from yourself for purchasing products. And this is a measuring mechanism, I guess, for the government to say, okay, Johnny received USD from Sally, and the reason why was for exporting processes and purchasing products, and here's the proof of doing that. So there's many different reasons. This is a very complex topic, especially for us, having our Chinese party and business partners and not party, but admin staff looking after all this for you is something that we've had to get really, really familiar with, and we've been doing this for the last 2 years. So I guess the message that needs to be brought across here is, if your suppliers are asking about frequency of shipping, you can talk to them about how frequent. I suggest you talk to them about how frequent you want to ship, so they're aware of that. Also know that that they will be supplied any paperwork regarding their VAT and export paperwork from our team, free of charge, as soon as you create a shipment. So just know in the background, automatically when you're creating a shipping plan in SKUdrop, our admin team is now identified your supplier from your account, made contact with them, sending them a VAT paperwork as they require. For any of you with suppliers that don't require them, as I said, 50% do, 50% don't, we have got them on our database as not needing them, so we don't send it to them, and that's how we do that with those suppliers. But for the ones who specify that they need that, we certainly do facilitate this. So if there is any questions around VAT from your suppliers to yourself, I hope this video will empower you a little bit more to understand the complexities around it. There is a little bit more detail to that than that I've explained, just around the process and when they're able to file paperwork and all that kind of thing. But just you need to know that you need to be transparent with your supplier, and you also need to let them know how often you're going to be shipping, whether it's weekly, every 2 weeks, or every month, or whenever you decide to do that, that whenever that shipment goes out, SKUdrop will be supplying them with the paperwork that they require, and not to be alarmed. So hopefully this video gives some clarity around it. It's quite a complex issue, and if there's any further questions, please reach out to support@skudrop.com. Thank you.